know I got the receipts, girl. You know I got the receipts. Welcome back to the Sweet Pea Diaries. It's your girl Sweet Pea, and I am back with another video. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back to my channel. And if you are a new subscriber, welcome to the Sweet Pea Diaries. Be sure to like this video, share this video, but most importantly, be sure to subscribe to the channel. All right, guys, before we get started, please let me know if you can see and if you can hear. Let me know if everyone can hear okay, and then we are going to get started. Please let me know if the volume is okay, and if you can see and hear. Let me know. Okay, let me know if you can see and you can hear. I'm asking you guys. Everybody's saying hi and everything like that. Everybody's talking. Can you hear me and can you see me? Yes or no? Just yes or no. I need that before we get started, because I've got this microphone in, so I want to make sure you guys can hear. Jerica, are you able? Thank you, Maya. Thank you very much. All right. Okay. All right. So, hey, you guys. I see we have Pretty Brown 1, Velma C, Itsy Bitsy, Jerica, Chelsea, Maya, Scorpio Baby, Only Shamari, And Soleil 846. All right, guys, we are here. We got some things to talk about, okay? We know that Jennifer is she's gonna still sue Nicki Minaj. It's just gonna be in a different jurisdiction. But we want to talk about, does Jennifer have evidence? Where's Jennifer's evidence? I've been seeing this question and I said, you know what? Let me come and put together a video for the people and answer this question. Where is Jennifer's evidence? Now, first of all, we need to understand, before you even ask that question, you need to even understand exactly the actual workings of a lawsuit and what the actual play by play, like how it works. You don't just go to court, boom, here's my evidence, and you put it before the judge, your attorney puts it before the judge, and boom, my case is over. That's just not how it works. Now, in order for Jen to even be where she is at this point in the lawsuit, it would have had to went through the judge and it would have had to be approved or thrown out. For her to be at the level that she was in the lawsuit, and we know that she was gearing up for the discovery phase, but once they discovered that there was some jurisdiction issues, then they dropped the lawsuit in New York, the jurisdiction of New York, and now they're going to put the venue into California, okay, as it pertains to Nicki Minaj. Now, Kenny, the jurisdiction for him is fine, but it's Nicki Minaj is in question because Nicki Minaj lives in California. So what they're saying is that she doesn't, they don't have jurisdiction over her in New York or Georgia or those other two states that are in the lawsuit, because when you are filing a case against someone, you have to have jurisdiction. So the laws that you're citing, and it governs around the specific state. So if the person isn't a resident of that state, or if they can prove that there's no jurisdiction for that person, that's why the lawsuit was dropped. Okay, it has nothing to do with evidence, sanctions, or none of that. And if Jennifer didn't have a leg to stand on, she wouldn't have made it this far. Now, a quick disclaimer again. We are all entitled to our opinions, and we are all entitled to like who we like. But at the end of the day, the Barbs, I don't know what type of fan base you are. I believe it's a lot of children. And I'm not going to argue with you, okay, in the comment section or in the chat, anywhere. I'm not going to argue with a bunch of kids. You're not going to make me have the same opinion as you. You're not going to bully me into becoming a Barb like you do all these other content creators, okay? There are a lot of content creators that started out being, liking who they like, and because of this gang mentality that the Barbs have, they make the content creator turn over into a Nicki fan or be sympathetic to Nicki Minaj. You're not going to do that to me. I have my opinion, and I am entitled to stand for who I stand for. And that whole narrative, you're biased. I am a commentator. I'm a YouTuber. I am going to have a biased opinion here on this platform. That's why people come to the Sweet Pea Diaries, to hear what I have to say on the topic. We're not going to be giving you an unbiased opinion. That's just not how it works over here. So that is the disclaimer before we get started with this video. If you are not, if you don't like hearing a narrative that's more on the side of the victim, then this is not the platform for you. We very much are pro Jennifer on this platform. We do give, our opinion, but we are very much pro Jennifer, and that's just me. And I am entitled to that. So if you don't like that, you need to find another, platform, and we won't hold that against you. Bye. I'm not one of those that is going to beg and submit for clicks and views. My opinion is mine, and I stand on that. All right. So, okay. So Jerica says we can't hear you. Okay, you can't hear me? I mean, okay, you can hear me. Oh, okay, you're saying other people. Okay. So if Jennifer did not have a leg to stand on, she wouldn't even be in, have went this far. But there are certain rules and regulations when you are in a lawsuit. Okay. Now you also have to understand that Jennifer is not suing Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty collectively. She is suing them separately. All right. Now we're going to jump right into that. I just had to give that quick disclaimer, honey, because I wanted the people to know that this is not a platform that's going to bend, that's going to be bullied, that's going to be conned by, you shaming me about my age or shaming me about my looks. Whatever it is that you feel you want to do, you're not going to con me into being a Nicki Minaj supporter. All right. I mean, you come here with your biased opinions. I have mine. Okay. Now, Kenneth Petty is being sued by Jennifer for various claims as it pertains to the situation that happened in 94. Okay. Now, these are the charges that are specifically against Kenneth Petty. All right. These are not, that has nothing to do with Nicki Minaj. These counts are specifically aimed at Kenneth Petty. Okay. Now, what these are, count one is intentional infliction of emotional distress. Kenneth Petty. This is just against Kenneth Petty. Okay. The next one is count two against Kenneth Petty. Assault and battery in New York. Now, when people say, they say, well, why is she bringing this up? This happened 30 years ago. Well, this is particularly why. It says, as a result of the above described conduct, plaintiff has suffered and continues to suffer physical injury, psychological injury, emotional distress, physical manifestations of emotional distress, embarrassment, loss of self-esteem, disgrace, humiliation, loss of enjoying life. Plaintiff has been prevented and will continue to be prevented from performing her daily activities and obtaining the full enjoyment of life. Petty's actions and omissions warrant an award of punitive damages. So when people say, well, Jennifer had this happen and this occurred to her 30 years ago, he did his time, no one is disputing that. What Jennifer is saying is that she continues to suffer emotionally as a result of his actions and assault against her those years ago. Okay. Now, the next count against Kenneth Petty is the S assault. All right. And now I don't want to say the word because this video is monetized, so we cannot say all of the words, but we know what that means. The S assault. Okay. And that is particularly against Kenneth Petty. All right. Now, why is that? Why is she suing for that? Again, as a result of the above described conduct, the plaintiff suffered and continues to suffer great pain of mind and body, shock, emotional distress, physical manifestations of emotional distress, embarrassment, loss of self-esteem, disgrace, humiliation, and loss of enjoyment of life, has suffered and continues to suffer and was prevented and will continue to be prevented from performing daily activities and obtaining the full enjoyment of life. Plaintiff has sustained loss of earnings and earning capacity. Okay. Against Petty, count 4, negligent infliction of emotional distress. Negligent infliction of emotional distress requires a showing of extreme and outrageous conduct, a causal connection between the conduct and the injury, and severe emotional distress. Okay, So these are the counts that are specifically against Kenneth Petty. These are not against Nicki Minaj. It is specifically outlined in the complaint. All right. Now, the counts that are against just Nicki Minaj: aiding and abetting. Okay. Now, when you aid and abet a person, you know the other's conduct constitutes a breach of duty and gives substantial assistance or encouragement to the other to so act, or gives substantial assistance to the other in accomplishing a tortious result, and the person's conduct separately considered constitutes a breach of duty to the third person. This means that she was aiding and abetting Kenneth Petty because he did not register as an S offender. And up until the point that he was with Nicki Minaj, married, dating, what have you, he was registering as an S offender. And that was part of his stipulation of release, that he was to be on the registry and register anytime he moved or have a new residence. He was to register. When they moved to California, he did not register. So that is why they are charging her with aiding and abetting, because they're saying you're, essentially partaking in him not following the guidelines that was set before him, his conditions of parole. Okay. So that is what Nicki Minaj is being specifically herself. That is the only count that is specifically against Nicki Minaj herself. Now, the both of them together, this count is against Petty and Minaj together. Harassment and witness intimidation. Okay. Intentional infliction of emotional distress. And those are the only two counts that are against the both of them. Okay. So when people say, why is Jennifer suing Nicki Minaj for what happened to her in New York? She doesn't have anything to do with that. That's between her and Kenny. And Kenny already did his time. He answered to that crime. All right. Well, what Jennifer is saying is that you continue to put stress on me. This continues to affect my life. So I'm suing you for that because you are the one that brought that harm into my life. Now, Nicki comes into this because she starts interjecting herself, as she stated in her written declaration, that she is his wife, and doing what any wife would do, she interjected herself to protect her husband. All right. So it comes into play. This is what they submitted as evidence, that when she interjected herself on Instagram, she says, oh, they want to talk. Let's give them something to talk about, in my Shania voice. And someone says, wait, y'all calling this man an R word, but it happened in 94, meaning he was 16 or 17. The girl was a 16-year-old, must have been a white girl. And then Nicki comes back and says he was 15, she was 16, in a relationship, but go off internet. Y'all can't run my life. Y'all can't even run your own life. Thank you, boo. Alluding to the person, because she answered to Anna Doll and basically is corroborating her post. Like, yes, everything you said is accurate. When in fact, this is not true. Jennifer was 15 and Kenny was 16 going on 17. Okay. We showed court documents in his own handwriting that he had a birthday the next day after he was convicted. Okay. So he was 16 going on 17. She was 15. So this shows evidence of you are inciting and encouraging this behavior with your fans, and you're putting out a false narrative. Okay. So this is where she interjected herself, and this is when all of this began and started, through this exchange as well as previous things as well. But this exchange is entered as an exhibit. All right. This is specifically entered as an exhibit. This isn't anything that I pulled off. This is what is in the court documents. And I'm not going to show anything that is a screenshot of anyone that shows on their page that people have posted, because it's not in the court documents as evidence. So we are only going to point to what has been entered in the case so far. All right. That's what we're going to be looking at and paying attention to. I do not post rumors, and I don't post what's on other people's pages, because Jennifer has showed text messages between her and a representative of Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty's camp that actually shows that she was in communication with someone that wanted to point her in the direction of an attorney to work to recant her statement. That has not been entered as evidence yet, so we're not going to refer to that and show anything and discuss that, because it is not entered as evidence. All right, so this is what we have so far. Now, we also have the picture of that was entered as evidence with Black saying, "Be safe out here," and he has the gun on his lap. We also know that there were photos of Black as well with the 20K and all of that. And I did see that that has been entered in as evidence, but for some reason it's buried. I could not find it, so I couldn't post it tonight, but I'm working to get that. But that is a piece of evidence as well. But for right now, it's not there. All right. Okay. So this is basically what we have so far as to where this case is going. Now, there are various phases to a trial. Okay. Now, when you are in a lawsuit, the first stage is the pleading stage. The second stage is the discovery stage. And the third stage is the conclusion. All right. The pleading stage is the initial documents. It outlines the claim, counterclaims, and defenses. Okay. That's where we are now. We are outlining what is going on. And this usually is the time where a person, the person that's being sued, who is the defendant, where they are served. The plaintiff gets a process server. They serve the defendant with the document and with the summons, and the summons informs the defendant of the time limit to respond to the lawsuit. That's where we were with Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty. The process server served them, but they wanted to fight that and said that, it wasn't, the process server did not serve them. It wasn't them. They weren't home. We had a whole debacle of that with whether it was true, whether they, the process server was lying or what have you. But in any event, this is the time where the defendant has the right to answer to the lawsuit, not a letter from your attorney stating, can you have a leave and prepare to file an answer? No, when you are served with a summons, it gives you a time limit as to when you are supposed to respond to the lawsuit. And in a response means you have to give your account of the story. So if Jennifer is saying that she was harassed, Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty harassed her indirectly and directly, the people that are wanting to talk about exactly Nicki Minaj, well, we showed you what Nicki would be answering to. She would be answering to the complaint as it pertains to her aiding and abetting, participating in harassment indirectly and directly, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. She would not be answering anything as it pertains to the 94 situation, which is why she had an attorney of her own. That's why these two don't have the same attorney, and they are husband and wife, because they are fighting separate charges. All right. Kenneth has his own. Nicki has her own. So in response, you're supposed to give your account as to what happened. Okay. I didn't harass. I didn't do anything, whatever. But that's what you're supposed to do when you respond to a lawsuit. We know that there was no response. We seen a bunch of activity on social media, but there was no direct response from Kenneth and Nicki to the lawyers. Okay. What they did was, after the fact, after the lawsuit deadline response, they then hired an attorney, hired someone to go down in the court and then say, well, we didn't know, we weren't served, all of these excuses. But in fact, you missed the deadline. So that's why Jen filed for a default judgment, because usually in a court case, if you don't answer in time with a response, you automatically lose your case. You automatically are issued a default judgment. Okay. So that's where we are right now. The stage that we are with this case, we are in the pleading stage. So when everybody talks about where is the evidence, we're not at that point yet. We didn't even get to that point yet. The evidence that has been submitted so far, with the exhibits that we see, with Black's picture and, Nicki and Kenneth, what we see, this is just preliminary evidence that is just to solidify and show the judge why we have a case, the basis for your case, to support your initial filing. All right. Which I said, if she didn't have a case, she would not have made it this far. The judge would have threw it out of court. It would have not made it this far. All right. So the pleading stage is where we are. The next stage is the discovery phase. Parties submit and exchange factual information and evidence to support their cases. Okay. Now, this is the time where evidence comes into play. This is when you're showing with text messages, videos, whatever, recordings, whatever proof either side has, they will submit that during the discovery phase. This is also the time where depositions are taken. And usually a deposition is taken by the opposing side. So what a deposition is just say, for example, Nicki Minaj would go into a location that isn't the court. Sometimes it could be the lawyer's office, or it could be the, at the courthouse, but in an office space or whatever. But it's usually not at the court. It's usually in a location that's not at the court. And it is the opposing side taking your statement. They take an account of your account of events. They ask you certain questions, and they really want to use this information against you when trial comes, because they will say, well, your answers that you answering now and your statements that you're saying now are different from that of the deposition. So are you lying now, or were you lying then? So that is usually what happens during the discovery phase. And we also, at times, the interrogatories come into play during the discovery phase as well. And what the discovery, interrogatories are, they are written statements, written questions that the opposing party is giving to either the defendant or the plaintiff or whatever, and their questions, and you must answer those questions in writing and then submit them back. All right. That's going to be used in court. All of this stuff is actually just to gauge and get a feel for how each side is going to respond in court during the trial. All right. That's what a deposition's for. That's what the interrogatories are for. All of this is just to get a feel for how the person is going to respond during court. And they also issue subpoenas at this time. All right. So if they're going to subpoena anybody to court, this will be the time that that happens as well. All right. And then we have the conclusion. All right. That's when closing arguments and jury decision. So we are nowhere near. Where's Jennifer's evidence? Well, there's no evidence because we're not at that stage yet. This is not Perry Mason. This is not a TV show. Regardless to how you think, YouTube is not even, we're not mainstream media. We're not CNN. This is the public. So this is the court, public of court, like court of public opinion, basically. This isn't real life. Okay. So what really happens in court, we're not going to see that play out in a matter of days. This stuff takes a long time. When you are in a court case, and especially a case such as this, it's high profile. It's it's money at stake. People's livelihood is in question. So this isn't something that's going to be boom, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. It's going to take time. And when you're gathering evidence, that doesn't happen until the discovery phase, and we are not at that point. So of course we don't have any evidence. Of course we don't know what Jen has because she has not submitted the bulk of it. All right. Nicki Minaj, where is her response? Where is her proof? Where is her evidence? If people want to say, where's the evidence? Where's the evidence and the proof that this did not occur, that there was no harassment on the part of Nicki Minaj? Well, we do know that she's being, charged with harassment indirectly as well as directly. And when we say indirectly, if you don't know what that means that you may not be the person directly threatening someone, but you might be having it done indirectly. Okay. And what I mean by that, you can go through other people to have that done, AKA the Barbs. You can have other people such as Black. You can have third parties that are doing the threatening, but they're doing it acting as an agent of you. Okay. When you don't stop these people and you don't tell them, stop doing this, stop doing these things, that's indirectly because you know what they're doing, but you're trying to act like you don't know what they're doing, but you're not stopping them from doing it. Like, i.e. these DMs. Now, these are fans of Nicki Minaj, and this is actually has been submitted as evidence. This is submitted on behalf of Jen. She's trying to show the climate as to what is happening online. You're just a thief trying to make money off Nicki Minaj and Kenneth's name. Okay? This is coming from people that she doesn't know. These are fans of Nicki Minaj. You are effing sick. Me and 10K other people just watched another blogger's video and the receipts are there, honey. You're talking to your cousins. We about to eat. And even that phone call I did with Jason Lee, it's all a matter of time before you get exposed. Up your ass. You just don't know it yet. Nothing regarding the U.S. Marshals was mentioned in your interview, and you're basically just contradicting yourself. Nicki is not dumb and works with the Kardashian lawyers. You are sick. You realize Ken has moved on and if actually making a bag for himself, and now you just want a piece of it. Even your friend Black, why isn't he on the lawsuit? The guy is playing you, dumbass. Watch and see. Whew, child. You are really sick. You have issues. I'ma pray for you. That's another person. Then we have another person. Clout chaser. You will not get away with it. Don't go against Nicki. Impossible. Hope you die, bitch. Clout chaser, leave Nicki alone. You mad he's married to a millionaire now. Now you want money, you clown ass. You will be exposed. Don't come for my queen and lying on her name. Jen says that's an awful thing to say to someone you don't know. I'm going to pray for you. And FYI, I'm not bothering anyone. I'm just speaking facts. That's not true, love. I wish they would have just left me alone and been happy. I don't want him. And I wasn't trying to bother. Her, but you have this energy with her when she lied on me, when she said I falsely accused him and I was white in a relationship with him. Those were lies. What did I do to them? That's Jen saying that. And then we have more. You will suffer. God doesn't like dirty. I've contacted the worst witches I could find. You will suffer. Nicki Minaj is my life. How dare you try to come for her hard work? I will go to hell and burn for Nicki, you clout chasing actor, money hungry, ugly bitch. Child, these people, and I know how it can get because I know what they do to me, honey. You a weird ass bitch for lying. Can't wait till you get clocked in that fucking courtroom, bitch. Lie on Nicki's name and you're gonna get sued. Remember that? Remember the message you sent to your cousin? So fucking evil and nasty for using this story for some money from Nicki. This shit happened 30 years ago and he served his time, and you said that too. Nobody's harassing you. Go feed your fucking kids, you weird ass bitch. So these DMs are used as evidence to show the climate. So when people say, well, why doesn't she sue those people? This doesn't have anything to do with Nicki Minaj. Indirectly. So that is to show that you know that your followers, just because it's in a DM, they do it in the comment section as well. This is to show the judge that this is being done to me on behalf of Nicki Minaj. If they had not have been in my life, and this is, if this had never happened, I wouldn't be going through this. And because she's not telling these people to stand down, that's indirectly. That's what the word indirectly means, that you know something's happening. You're not telling people to stop. You're allowing them to do it. So that is indirectly. All right. Let's see what people are saying. To be honest, Jerica says, to be honest, I really do think Nicki told him not to register because he never had a problem doing that before. Only one Shamari says, that's the weird part. Just because he's under 18 doesn't mean he's not capable of the R word against anyone. Hey, Venetia. Good evening, sweet pea mods in chat. I see I'm late to the party, but I made it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, Stone Mukbang says, you're really saying a bunch of nothing to compare to more credible and professional YouTubers. You can have your little tea party and kiki off of what you wish was happening. Take a step into reality. Oh, wow. Well, this is my channel and we can discuss what we prefer to discuss when we want to, and you don't have to watch, you don't have to listen, but you're welcome to stay if you want to, and you're welcome to comment, but just be respectful. All opinions are welcome. Now, I cannot help it that the court documents and the paperwork, it is what it is. I'm not giving any biased, I'm giving the information. This is what it is. I'm giving facts. I'm telling you what happens in court. I'm telling you the steps, but the truth hurts. The truth hurts. Jerica says, and her lawyer is doing the same thing to Tyrone and Steven. Did you see how Steven and Tyrone exposed Judd? How he lied? Child. People are going to do whatever they want to do. If you tell them to stop and they don't, what now? Right. Well, it's not the fact that she can't make them stop. You are absolutely right. She cannot make them stop. But this is your fans. These are your fans. This is on you to control. You're the queen of the Barbs, right? You say you love the Barbs. You know, these people are worshiping the ground you walk on. So if they are partaking in activity that is harming someone's life, that is threatening someone's life, especially a woman that has been harmed by your man, that I don't understand why that's so hard for anyone to fathom and understand. You need to tell them to stand down. You need to tell them to stop doing what they're doing. Why are you harassing him? But you are encouraging it. You're in the comment section encouraging it. You are actually lying, and you're putting out a narrative that's false. The whole black woman, black man, being railroaded narrative. Oh, a black teenage boy. He wasn't a black teenage boy that was victimless, that, he didn't know what he was doing. He was not a young black boy that was a victim when he R-word Jen. He knew exactly how to handle himself then. He had the wherewithal and the know to do that and partake in that activity. So that whole narrative that he was young and, trying to act like he had no clue about what he was doing. Don't give me that, because he knew exactly what he was doing when he put that knife in her back and he walked her to that house and he did what he did. He knew exactly. And she's saying she's suffering from that. I don't understand why people are so, you come over here and you call me nasty. You come over here and you call me crude, and you say that I am bullying Nicki Minaj. This woman is a millionaire. She doesn't even know I exist. And anything that I am saying is not false. I am not presenting anything as fact. I'm putting out what is in the court documents. I don't put my opinion as fact. My opinion is my opinion. I know I'm 43 years old, sweetheart. I know how to speak, how to handle myself, what to say, what to present, how to present it. I would never put myself in a situation where I'm going to be sued. Wrong answer. I am not Tasha K. I'm not putting myself in a situation where I'm going to lie for clicks and views, because to be quite honest, I don't give a darn about any of you. None of you Barbs. I do this for the people that follow me, that subscribe and support the channel. This is not content for you because you can't handle it. You can't handle the truth. You're biased. Your opinions are biased. You are for Nicki Minaj. So anything that anyone has to say that is contrary to Nicki Minaj, you are not listening. You have you care nothing about anything if it doesn't have anything to do with supporting Nicki Minaj. Nothing. So how dare you call me biased? How dare you say that I'm nasty when you come over here with a chip on your shoulder? You enter into the comment section. You enter into the chat, calling me names, calling me out of my name, telling me you wish that I have another stroke, telling me that I'm going to die. All of these things. And I have not come for you. I don't even know you. You come on my platform. And that's the energy that the Barbs give. And you always have to just pay attention to the leader. You look at the leader and you look at their behavior and it trickles down. No wonder that you guys are a bunch of psychopaths and you run amok, acting wild and ready to attack anyone that doesn't stand for Nicki Minaj. Look at your leader. Look at your queen. That's the same behavior that she exemplifies. I don't down Nicki Minaj. I don't drag Nicki Minaj. That's not even in my character. I give facts. I give my opinion. And that's that. I can't help it that she's looking how she looks in the court because of her not answering to the lawsuit on time. I can't help that. I have nothing to do with the fact that her attorney is acting like a damn mobster, wanting to issue sanctions and don't even have the validity of his sanctions. No sanctions have been issued by the court because they're not valid. He has no valid reasons, no valid points. He has a personal grudge against Stephen Gordon, stalks his wife. At this point, he's incompetent. He has a personal vendetta against that attorney. He shouldn't even be standing for Nicki Minaj. And if I was Nicki, I would get rid of him immediately because he has a personal grudge against Steven, and he's not taking your case. He wouldn't be taking your case seriously. He's so busy trying to handle and settle this score. Those garbs sit online saying, I don't care what Nicki Minaj does, I will always support her. Exactly. That's sad. People wishing bad on people. Prayers behind Queen Sweet Pea Squad. I know that's right. Pray, honey, but no weapon formed against me shall prosper. They can wish whatever bad, evil. Honey, just know it comes back 10 times fold. What you put out, you get back. What you wish out for me, the same bed and the hole that you wish I fall in, honey, you're going to fall in that same hole. All behind a YouTube video, all behind my thoughts and my opinions. When you see the title to this video and when you hear the first 2-3 minutes, if it's not for you, go. There's no need to even comment. Why even comment? That's the weirdness of it all. And then a lot of you know more about me than I know about myself. You come in my comment section telling me about me. How you going to tell me about my life? You don't know anything about me. All you see is what you see on YouTube. You see a freaking hour-and-a-half video if I give you that. I might give you an hour and 10 minutes. I don't even do long lives. I don't be up here for 2 hours and 3 hours. So what you see is what you get. You don't know a damn thing about me or my life to insinuate that and act like you do. That's how I know that I'm dealing with a bunch of immature children. These are not women. It can't be. It cannot be adult women that are in this chat actually defending Nicki Minaj. It's not my fault that I think more of her as a woman. I feel as though that she could have done better. She should have done better than Kenneth Petty. If Jennifer feels as though she has been harassed by Nicki Minaj and her husband and by her fans and by other people that they agents acting on behalf of them, let this woman have her day in court. If it was any one of you, you would want to have your day in court as well. Let this woman have her day in court. Why does it matter to you? Why are you getting so upset and bent out of shape because this woman says she's been harassed? How do you know if she's been harassed or not? All you see is information that's been put out. We don't even know what the bulk of the evidence is because we haven't been to the discovery phase yet. And the information and what Jen has put out so far sounds about right to me, looks about right to me, and it must look right to the judge because her case was allowed to continue. If it was not accurate evidence and if it didn't meet the guidelines of submitting evidence to the court, her case would have been thrown out immediately. She would have not made it this far. So even the court felt as though she had a case because if they didn't, they would have booted it out. It wouldn't have been allowed to go this far. So where's her evidence? Jen has already sent in her supporting evidence to even file her case. Now, the meat and potatoes of the evidence, we will get into that in the discovery phase once we get to that part in the trial. And now we don't even have anything against Nicki Minaj at this point because we are waiting for them to resubmit in California. And once they do, those counts that we went over is what she will be sued for. She doesn't have anything to do with the 94 situation, and Jennifer is not including her in that. Nicki Minaj interjected herself into that conversation. Nicki Minaj has showed, even in the declaration, that she was contacting Jen, whoever it was through, and you guys get hung up on technicalities. Oh, it was through this person. It was a 3-way, 4-way, 5-way call, and Black did it, and we did it like this, and then they flipped the switch, and then, child, that don't matter. I don't care about technicalities and getting hung up on sentences and words and verbiage. Actions is what I get caught up in. Actions speak louder than words. Actions is what the court is looking at. Honey, nobody care about 2 sentences that are off and this sentence don't match this sentence. Don't nobody care about that. They care about the actions. And you were contacting a victim trying to get her to recant her story. This man has already been convicted of this crime. He was already convicted years ago, like you say, 30 years ago. All right, so why are you wanting her to recant? You forget we wouldn't even be here. would not even be here if it wasn't for them wanting to get her to recant her story. And when she did not want to follow and fall in line and follow through with it, the harassment began. And that has already been proven. Nicki Minaj herself proved that and attested to that in the declaration. She said she was doing what any wife would have done for their husband. She said that she interjected herself because that was her husband. And she was doing what any wife would do. So she sent her agent or manager or publicist. She sent her publicist to contact Jen to work with her to help her recant her story. Then she sent someone that was acting on behalf of the attorneys to work with Jen to get her to formulate a story. And as I have said many, many times, because I'm a real ass one, the only thing that I fault Jennifer for, I would have never entertained that conversation. The audacity of Nicki Minaj to reach out to Jen. I don't give a damn how she did it. I don't care if Black made the call and Nicki got on the phone. I don't care. The fact that she reached out to Jennifer, a victim, asking her to recant, the audacity. Who do you think you are wanting to have someone recant their story for your own selfish needs? Because you want to be the queen in shining armor for your convict man. You want to be the one that saves the day for Kenneth Petty. When he's already been convicted, there's already been a verdict on that case. There was nothing that you can do. Jennifer was not a witness. The state tried Kenny. The state sued Kenny. Jennifer didn't. That's another thing. Jennifer never had Kenny in court, which is why she's suing now as well. Jennifer never had her day in court. And see, that's what a lot of people need to understand. Jennifer never had her day in court. The state of New York convicted Kenny. Jennifer was never on the stand. She was not a witness. They did not need her, which is why when the so-called, she stood up in court and tried to recant her story because she was being threatened and made to do so by grown adults. That's why the judge said, you need to go down to the DA and take that up with them, because the DA is the one that convicted Kenny. The DA put his ass away, not Jen. Jen she wasn't even a witness for them. She didn't take the stand and give her story. They already had him, did a plea deal with him. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Boom. Period. Ty says, Jennifer wanted to talk to Nicki, though. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether she wanted to talk to her or not. If a person reaches out to you and says, I heard you can help us with this story or help us with however it went. I heard you can help us, whatever. You want to recant your story, period. That's basically what she was saying. Okay, and whatever she entertained, and she decided once she seen where it was hitting for, these people want me to recant and want me to take my story back. They want to try to pay me to recant my story. I'm not with that. I'm not getting caught up in nothing like that. That's normal. That's normal for anyone to start talking with someone and then find out that it's a bunch of bullshit and then pull back. Like, I don't know what Jen was thinking. I'm not in Jennifer's mind, and neither are you. You don't know what Nicki Minaj was thinking. You're not in Nicki Minaj's mind, and neither am I. We are on the outside looking in, providing our commentary, providing our thoughts. That's what this is. This is not, we know we're the end all and be all. What I'm saying is God's truth and what this blogger says, how they twist it. And a lot of y'all kill me with this. You're not biased. You're biased. The other bloggers are non-biased. That's a bold-faced lie. These other bloggers are painting a picture and a narrative for Nicki Minaj. And the only reason why they do it is because the Barb's threaten, oh, I'm going to unsubscribe, I'm not going to watch, or bully them into being a barb. You're not going to bully me into being a barb. I don't give a damn about your subscription. Take your subscription and go. You don't have to watch my videos. You don't have to like me. I don't give a damn. I'm going to have my opinion. If you don't like it, don't watch. I'm not a CNN anchor. This is called the Sweet Pea Diaries. These are my thoughts, my diaries, my thoughts, my words, mine. If you don't like it, don't watch. Don't watch. So, and to be honest, like, as far as, the evidence, and now this person says, where's the evidence of the U.S. Marshals? Well, when we get into the discovery phase, we'll find out all of that. We don't have it. You don't see anything right now because we're not at that point. When we get to the discovery phase, whatever evidence that they have, that's what they'll present. Again, this is not the First 48. This is not the ID channel. This is not a documentary that your favorite YouTuber has put together and the conclusion is ready in 48 minutes. It doesn't work like that. Real life, it takes time. Real life, we have processes. The court of law, there's a process. The legal process, there is a process, and everything takes time. We're not at that point yet. And now we're going to be starting all over again because they're going to another jurisdiction. So now the pleading stage will begin again for that jurisdiction. Kenneth, his will remain going along with the flow because his lawsuit wasn't dropped. But Nicki Minaj, hers will have to pick up in another jurisdiction and we'll have to start all over again. But when they get to the discovery phase, that's when they enter in evidence, which is what we went over in the beginning of this video. Pleading stage is the beginning of a lawsuit, discovery, and then conclusion. And there's certain things that happen during those times. So where's her evidence? How would you see it? Who are you? You are just someone that is in the comment section, that is out here in the YouTube world, out here on Instagram, out here in Twitter land. How would you see evidence? How would you know? You don't have access to public documents. None of you guys have. I need a show of hands. Let me see a show of hands of all of the barbs that are in the chat, people that are Nicki Minaj supporters. Give me a show of hands, all of you. And I want the God's to honest truth. I don't want lies. I want the truth. I need a show of hands. I need to know how many people have read the court documents. I want to know how many people have read the court documents. Show me a sign of hands of how many people have actually went on Pacer, paid for Pacer, mind you, because you got to pay, and there's steps to get Pacer. You don't just go on Pacer and log in. You have to send for a user ID and everything and be granted access by the government to get Pacer. So I need to know how many people have went on Pacer and have actually pulled up the court documents and read them, and how many people have looked at the evidence that's been supported with this case. That's what I need to know. That's what I need to know. It is not public record. You can't just go down and just go on down and go on Google. No, you have to get a Pacer account and get these documents. Yeah, it's public record, but it's not public record like people think, that you can just go and Google it and get it. There's a process. So I need to know how many people have actually, no, we've read them over here. So before that you're able, to stand toe to toe and stand with me, you have to know this case inside out, and you have then read these records. All right. So Ty, if you've read the court documents, you have access to Pacer. I need you to pull right now. I need you to pull up Jennifer's declaration and Nicki's declaration. I need you to pull it up, and I need you to pull to page 3. All right, Ty. So if you have them, I need you to pull up Jennifer's declaration and go to page 3 and tell us in this comment section what the second sentence says. I want you to do that for me, Ty. All right. So when we go over the court documents and we go over this case over here, I can't help it that people feel some type of way because the documents point in another direction. I'm not going to twist the narrative. I'm not going to do what other content creators do. And you can't get upset with me because I'm more in favor of Jen and they're more in favor of Nicki Minaj. And because that's the side that you're on, you're able to see that side. You don't like Jen and you don't like her stance, so you can't see her side. I can see Nicki's side. I can see Kenneth's side. But I don't have anything for them because I don't agree with them. I don't agree with what it is that they're doing. I would never contact a victim and try to work out anything with her to recant anything, especially knowing that there's nothing that she can do. There's nothing that she can do. Even if she were to recant her statement, it wouldn't help because her statement was never entered in for a court. They didn't use her statement to convict Kenny. Jen gave her statement down at the damn police station. She gave her statement to the DA and the police when she went through what she went through. She didn't testify. She's not in the court transcripts. How many of you guys know that? This whole Jen statement, getting her to recant her statement, Jen didn't testify during court. There is no transcript or no statement for her to recant. The only recantation would be her recollection of the events of what happened when the incident occurred and they took her down to the police station. That's when she issued a statement, but she didn't testify in court. It's like there's nothing that she would have been able to do. The state picked up the case, and how many people know that when the state tries you, what is a victim? We have many people of victims of domestic violence right now that try to go on down and try to get their boyfriend out of the situation. And the state says, I'm sorry, he punched you upside your head, and we're taking the case because we know that if we don't, you're gonna drop the charges. Now we see the knot upside your head, we see the busted lip, and it's enough for us to intervene and take the case. And we're going to convict him for assault. But I don't want him to go. I don't want him to go. He didn't do anything. I did it. I ran into the wall. And they say, no, ma'am, it doesn't matter. We've taken the case. It's nothing you can do. So there's nothing. Even if she was going to recant, what would have done? He's already been convicted already, and he took a plea deal at that. He took a plea deal, which is why they trying to attack the plea deal, which is why he was suing the state of New York, because he knows that he took the plea deal. So it was like he admitted to it. And we looked on the California S Offender Registry. We have a video of that where they have documentation that a weapon was used, that a knife was used, and there was actual intercourse. So there's no denying that the incident took place. And as I have stated, Nicki Minaj has nothing to do with that. She is not being sued for that. When you look at the documentation, we showed it on here. She is not being sued for that. She's being sued for specific things: aiding and abetting, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and harassment, indirectly and directly. When you throw shots, subliminal shots, just because you're not saying it directly to me, we know who you're talking about. We know what you mean. That is indirectly. That's what she's being sued for. You send your trolls, you allow your trolls. You don't tell them to stand down. And a lot of you are now in the lawsuit. Your DMs, your Instagram profiles are now involved in a lawsuit because you were sending DMs and taking it upon yourself to go and handle things for your queen. Now you found yourself being mentioned in a lawsuit. I don't give a damn if they're gonna come. You don't know what they can do. They can subpoena what. You don't know what anybody could do. A lot of y'all say, well, it don't matter. They're not going to call them anyway. How they going to find them? You don't know what a person can find and how they can find and what your Instagram handle is connected to and if they can find you or not. I wouldn't even want to be mentioned in no damn. I'm old school. I don't want my name being mentioned in nothing got to do with the law, police, court, nothing. 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 Period. In that case, Nicki is being harassed by Jen's supporters. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think that. I think that the supporters, Jen supporters, are different. It's a different vibe than the Nicki Minaj supporters. It just is. Jen supporters are usually older ladies, older women. They're not children. They don't have a gang mentality. You can see the climate here in my chat. You can see women that are supporting Jen that are in my chat. They're not screaming at nobody. They're not dragging people. They're not calling people names. But when you can actually see when the barbs enter the chat, because the vibe becomes different. It's, you start attacking people's looks. Y'all talk about, people's age and all of that. So you can tell when the difference between a Barb supporter and Jen. And I don't believe that Jen supporters are going on Nicki's page or in her comment section and wishing death on her. If anything, they will be talking about how can you support a man that has committed R? How can you support a man and, that has did something like this to a black woman? And why are you not in support of victims? If anything, that's what they would be saying. Right. She says not true. They was threatening Nicki's little sister. I don't believe that. I don't believe it. If they were, it was kids trolling. I don't believe that any grown woman would go and threaten a child or a woman that a young lady that is younger than them. I just don't. I just don't. Ain't nobody harassing Nickelodeon for Jen. We got jobs and lives. Exactly. So, as far as court documents, it's all on which side you're reading, okay, and whose side you're looking at. When you read Nicki Minaj's team, when you read their declarations and their documents that they're submitting, of course, it's going to be in favor of their client. When you read Jen's paperwork and you read the documents that her attorneys are submitting, of course it's going to be on her side. But you have to err somewhere in the middle when you're commentating, and when you got to put this stuff together for yourself, and you have to see, well, who's going to win? Who do you think is going to win? How's it going to go legally based off of the paperwork that you have? And all I'm doing tonight, it's not for me to say who I think is going to win, who's got the best attorney. It's not for me to do that. What I'm presenting to you is the questions that people have asked. Where's Jen's evidence? And we are not at that point yet. We are not at discovery. We don't have any evidence to show, because it hasn't been submitted. Only the exhibits and what is in the court paperwork is the only thing I can show you. I can't pull out anything that's been on the internet, anything that Jen has previously posted, because that's not in the court documents. I'm only going to go off of what they enter as exhibits, period. Because that's what we're talking about, this case, and we're going off the documentation, period. Sheesh, that's the best comment I've seen so far. All parties and supporters are harassing. I wouldn't say that is the word harassing. I would say that they drag each other and they troll each other and they're negative. We don't have to be negative just because we have difference in opinions. We can agree to disagree at the end of the day. And what I don't understand is, what are people disagreeing with Jen? What is it that you don't like about this girl? What is it that you feel that she's doing that is harming anyone but trying to stand for herself? I don't understand that. And everyone gets hung up in, well, she said this way on this platform, and she said this way on that platform. No one says everything the exact same way every time, especially when speaking about events that occur. There's going to always be something maybe that you leave out. There's going to be, especially when you're nervous and you're speaking about something that is very sensitive, you might stumble and you might leave things out. But the basis of the allegations and everything that has been said, it pretty much is in line, in my opinion. Okay. In my opinion, it's pretty much in line, but that's going to be up to a court of law to decide. That's going to be up to the judge and a jury to decide. All right. This playing out in the court of public opinion is true, but we don't have to drag each other and we don't have to be nasty and negative. And I'm telling you, I'm about to really start blocking people. I'm not entertaining the nastiness, the bullying, the name calling, the age shaming. I'm not dealing with it. I'm blocking you. I'm deleting it. And I'm going to shut off the comments if it continues. If you want to be able to comment on a video, if you want to be able to interact with the content creator, you're going to be respectful. If not, you're going to be blocked, deleted, and the comment section will be shut off. Period. So, I see you guys in the comments, and everyone is, so far what I've seen in here has been respectful. It hasn't been disrespectful. People have a difference in opinion, and that is fine. We welcome that. But the disrespect is not going to be tolerated. I just don't understand where the negativity comes in at, because I support a victim. I believe that this woman should have her day in court. If she feels she was harassed and she was wronged, let her put forth her evidence and let her have her day. Who are you to tell her that she hasn't suffered emotional distress? Who are you to tell her that she should move on? Why are you trying to, downplay her trauma and downplay what happened to her? Did something like this had occurred in your life at 15. That's very traumatic. Very traumatic. And then you're still dealing with it. You've got people on the internet, and it's a great question. I don't know why Black is not being sued. I really don't. I believe that Black should be facing some type of charges as well, because Black is an instigator. He has been in the middle of this. As far as I'm concerned, he's been pushing a lot of this. In my opinion, he kicked this whole thing off, knowing that what Nicki and Kenneth, what they were up to with trying to sue the state of New York. He, in my opinion, felt as though I'm going to be the champion and I'm going to go and try to get this done with Jen, so I can get in good graces with Nicki and Kenny and they can break me off. In my opinion, I feel as though he deserves some type of reprimand to be reprimanded, and he deserves some type of consequences, because he's the one putting up guns and, threatening people's lives and trying to connect Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty to Jennifer. I just feel as though him being this middleman, he deserves to be punished as well. So I don't understand why he's not named in these documents, because I would have sued his ass too. I would have sued his ass as well. So we don't know, because again, it's early in the situation. We don't know. Maybe he'll be subpoenaed. Maybe he'll be added. But I would not put it past Jen's team to subpoena him. They just probably might subpoena him. Because him putting a gun on his lap, this just doesn't, sit right with me at all. Oh, Jerica, she got the tea. Well, honey, do tell. Do tell, my sweet Jerica. But Scorpio Bay says, leave Sweet Pea alone. She's reporting facts. Y'all need to find something to do. Supporting a celebrity you don't know. And it's fine. Support her. But when you support someone, you're supposed to tell them the truth. I'm not with this whole new generation where you guys, you think that when you support someone, you don't tell them the truth and you just let them run amok and let them do and be reckless and get involved in all types of shit. When you support someone, you're supposed to give them your honest opinion, and you don't let them hurt themselves. You don't let them harm others. You don't let them bury themselves. You save them from themselves. So, at the end of the day, let the woman have her day in court. I don't think it's a money grab. I don't think that she was, trying to extort anyone for money. I really don't. In my humble opinion, and please, 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 my Jen supporters, I love Jen down. I don't know the woman. I've never spoken with her, never met her, but I love her down. I stand for her. She's welcome on this platform at any time to tell her story. We will be a voice for her. We will continue to support her. But one thing I have always said, I believe that something got started that shouldn't have got started, and a conversation got entertained that should have never been entertained. And I would have never entertained the conversation, period. I would have not spoken with Nicki Minaj about possibly doing anything. I don't think that, I don't think that they ever really said it. I don't think Jen ever said it, but it was there. It was in the air, and it was just understood that there was going to be some money, that there was going to be, what else could Nicki Minaj offer her? What else would you be doing and considering anything for? Because you like Nicki Minaj? No. Okay. So it was, it was just in the air that we're going to do this thing, and it didn't go as planned. And then boom. Oh, you going to renege on us? Oh, you're not going to renege on us. I'm Nicki Minaj. You're not going to do me like this. You're going to follow through. And so this is when the intimidation tactics and the harassing and everything came through. I mean, it's obvious. It's obvious. It's obvious. And like I keep saying, if there was not any validity to it, the judge would have threw this out. It wouldn't have made it this far. Would not have made it this far. So where's Jen's evidence? We shall see during the discovery phase. Okay. Once we get to that point, I'm pretty sure we are going to be entertained and very well fed with evidence. All right. So I will take some more comments. And then we're going to be done. Onika, T.S. Eva says, Onika had Joe, her publicist, contact Jen to recant her statement for Kenneth. Absolutely. We went over that. Yep. Chantel says, what I find funny is everybody believed the females that came out against R. Kelly. Every interview those females did, their story changed, but they were believed because it was believe all women. Why isn't it the same with Kenny? Because it's a Nicki Minaj connection. Just how she's funding Toxic K. Nicki will get her day. Jerica says, and Nicki admitted it about Joe. Absolutely. DL says, you're a good person, Sweet Pea. I respect that. Thank you. I try to be child, but these people, they try it. DLG says, them barbs act like they are paid internet assassins. And child, I don't, contrary to what other content creators do, I don't watch other channels. I really don't. I only watch people that I like, other content creators that I enjoy their content, and I watch, and it's only a select few that I watched from beginning to end. Other people I peek around and, I dip in and dip out, be in the bushes, but I don't watch other people that do this content. So those other big bloggers that you guys mentioned, I don't know what they're doing over there. Because I don't like them, so I don't watch them. They don't like me, so why would I like them and support them? I'm not giving them a click and a view. Now, if they give me clicks and views, and if they watch me, thank you. But I'm not watching them. I don't. When I'm just not into people, I can't listen to them. I can't watch them. I can't look at them. I just can't even bear this. I tell you, this generation is a whole new breed because y'all will stalk people that you don't like. Okay. When a person is going live that you don't like before they going live, before their own subscribers. Not me. I'm not giving you a click, a view, a like, a share, nothing. I'm not giving you a breath if I don't like you. I'm not. So T.S. Eva says, so let's not act like Onika isn't capable of funding people to do her dirty deeds, just like she was paying Karen Civil for years to contact blogs not to post certain stories. Bing, 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 bing. Only Shamari says Nicki clearly ain't giving Tasha enough money with them lawyers she got. Child, but again, I don't know. I just can't give you the narrative that you want, Barb's. I can't, because I don't agree. I believe that your queen, she could have done better. She should have done better. I don't know why she interjected herself with this situation. She should have stayed out of it. She should have stayed out of it and stayed away from it. This is your husband, is true, but he did this. This is something that he partook in his past, and he has to answer for it. He has consequences, repercussions. He's supposed to register. He was registering before he got with you. He didn't have anything. He wasn't the poor black boy then. Before he got with you, he had money. He bought a home. That big, beautiful home he got in New York. How did he afford to buy that? He had the money to get attorneys if he wanted to, get this sue New York and overturn this judgment against him. He had money. That home in New York is cost money. He wasn't broke. So I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying that narrative. It's giving, oh, I'm with Nicki Minaj now. I'm Nicki Minaj. You don't have to register. You don't have to do. No, he didn't have a problem with that. That was a stipulation of his release, and he was abiding by that for years. So why not now? Why not now? Nicki clearly, we read that, right, Eva? She's even tried to talk to Jason after Karen got exposed, and Jason said, nope, she's the one pulling the strings. I'm glad she did what she did then. So, Safari says, it's just like, why would I go after a drug dealer when I can go after the drug lord and stop distribution? That's a great analogy. TS says, mind you, Tasha has mentioned Nicki, her case, like 4 times, and Onika still follows Tasha. We all know that phone convo they had. Nicki told Tasha things, and now Nicki's scared Tasha recorded. And she probably did, because Tasha K records everybody, honey. She records her so-called friends. Life with the Leonard family says, I thought Nicki gave him that home in New York. Oh, did she? Is that what it was? I don't know. I thought that was his home, because in the court documents, it says that Kenny owns a home in New York, and that home that is in New York is supposedly Kenny's. So I thought I saw that in the court documentation, that that's his home. So I don't know. If it, child, if that's something different, child. But even still, I don't think the man was broke prior to being with Nicki Minaj. And I just feel as though if this was a cause that he wanted to fight for, he could have been, done that. I wouldn't have been registering at, and being a part of something that now all of a sudden you don't want to be a part of it. Now I'm just not feeling that. I'm not buying that narrative. It happens. Yes, it does. It happens to young black boys all the time. But this just wasn't one of those cases. He did the crime. It's all in black and white on the registry. It says that there was a weapon used and there was actual intercourse. So I just don't understand why people just don't sympathize with Jennifer, and they feel as though it's this whole narrative all over again. That is the black woman or woman. I'm not going to say black woman. That is just a woman. Well, I believe this because she's black, and it's just always been that we got to question, second guess black women when they accuse men of harming them, and when they've been a victim of something. Let it go, get over it. But other minorities and other groups of women can be victims forever long. No one puts a time limit on their trauma. No one puts a time limit on how long they should feel some type of way. Black women, you just need to get over it. Like we get over everything else because we're so strong. Get over it. No, you don't get the right. You don't have the right to tell another woman how long her trauma should last and how she should feel about something. No. Oh, she was dealing with him on the low for a while, huh? Okay. Oh, I didn't know that. That's why Carol and Nicki stopped talking for a while. Then Papa Bear was born. That home was Carol Minaj's. Nicki took it back and sold it in documents to Kenneth for $1 so he could use that address to register. His DNA was found in her. You can't deny that. Don't he got like 2 or 3 other kids? That BM is keeping her mouth shut. Child, that man does have a past. But again, you know, that his past and everything, that's his past. We all have one. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I just believe that Jennifer should have her day in court. If she feels as though she was victimized, if she feels as though she was harassed, and she has evidence and proof of that, why not? That's my argument to people out there that don't like Jen. If it proves and she shows that she has evidence, why not? Why not? You're not going to see the evidence now because we're not in that stage. And even if we are, when we do get there, you're still not going to see the evidence. You're still going to go to other YouTube channels and you're going to get the information that they disseminate to you and you're going to take their word for it without doing your own research. I challenge you here to do your own research. Go get a Pacer account for yourself and pull these documents and read them. Same way I went and got the emails that Judd and Steven and all them was going back and forth and the DMs from the Barbs. It's all public record. It's all on Pacer. Go on and get you a Pacer account and you can look at this stuff yourself. But a lot of you guys are lazy, don't want to do the legwork, but you want to go and get the information from other people that are feeding it to you the way they want it to be put out. I'm giving you the court documents and I'm reading it. I'm giving you my opinion as far as how I see this. It doesn't matter what I think. What it matters is what you think, and you go and get the paperwork and read it for yourself. Don't take my word for it. I'm giving you my opinion. I'm not telling you that my word is law. I'm challenging you to go read it for yourself, which is why I put the documents up. If you want to read them, blow up the screen and read it. Shoot. This is my opinion, and you know, we put out the documents and we give you the legal, like exactly what's happening, period. We've read the documents. We've read all of them. We've read Nicki Minaj and Kenneth's. They're on other videos. That's not the video I'm doing today. We've done the entire case. We have read every single document that they have on here. It's on other videos. We're not going to do that every video. That's stupid. Every video has its point. So I'm not going to every time read the same documents over and over. That's redundant. That's a waste of time. I don't do that. You want to read certain documents? Go and look at other videos. We have them. We've done a video where we asked some candid questions about Jen. We did both sides, pros and cons. Did you watch that video? No. But we've done that on this channel. We've been very fair. We've told both sides, but the side that I err on is Jennifer because she's a victim. And I feel as though if she has been harassed and if she has evidence and proof of that, she give her her things, period. Give her her things. Okay. That's what I believe. And I don't get why we drag this woman, other females, and it be the other females for me, dragging her and calling her an opportunist and saying that she just want money. It's just sad. It's sad to see. But again, we will get to the evidence part when we get to the discovery phase, and then we'll see what she got. All right. But until that time, ease up, lighten up, you guys. It's just commentary. You know, we don't have to go at each other. Everybody can have an opinion. And stop comparing me to other bloggers and what other bloggers are doing. Because trust me, I don't know what they're doing. I don't watch them. I don't listen to them. I don't know. But one thing I do know is I know who they stand for and I know who they rocking with. And I know who you're rocking with. So if that's the narrative that you want to hear, you better go on over there because I'm not going to give it to you the way you want it. There's no way that you can expect me to not have an opinion either way. That's just what commentators do. We're going to tell you what's going on, and then we're going to give you how we feel. And that's what people come here for. They come here to find out, well, I wonder what Sweet Pea think about it. If I was given a non-biased opinion, they'd be like, well, shit, if I wanted to turn on the news, I would watch the news. If I wanted to watch CNN, I would watch CNN. I come to the Sweet Pea Diaries because I want to know what Sweet Pea thinks about this. I want to know her specific take on it. So I owe it to my subscribers and my followers to give them my take on it. Period. All right. So that's what you're going to get here. Okay. So you guys, thank you. This has been another video. We are done with this topic for tonight. This has been another edition of the Sweet Pea Diaries. You guys be sure to like this video, share the video. Most importantly, be sure to subscribe to the channel. And we out, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Catch you next time. Bye.